Today we have Tony and Olivier Award winner Jak Malone, who plays Hester in Operation Mincemeat, talking all about staying curious, playful, and keeping it simple stupid. I'm Haley Herman, and this is Broadway Lectures.
Cool. Ready? I'm good? Okay.
Hey! Today we have Tony Award and Olivier Award-winning actor Jak Malone, who plays Hester in Operation Mincemeat, talking all about keeping it simple, stupid, curiosity within acting, and breaking away from the method and just being. Hey!
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Of
I'm
course.
absolutely delighted. It's wonderful.
Thank you so much for coming on. We're so happy that you're here.
Thank you.
Tell us about your journey. How did you get here?
How far back do you want to go?
As far back as you're willing.
Okay, so I think this is important, like surrounding the topic. As a child, I was a very, very difficult child. I was like evil, like really not nice. Before Super Nanny was a thing, we had somebody come and live with us to look at me and to keep and watch what the hell was wrong with me.
What is this kid doing?
Some of my earliest memories were being at like family events and functions and seeing everybody having a nice time and thinking as a small child, nope, not having that. Going to ruin it. It's going to spoil this. Not putting up with everyone. Everyone's smiling. Forget it. Eventually it took my wonderful grandmother to notice little patterns, one of which was that I was never more peaceful and still and quiet and content than when I was drawing. I would sit for hours with paper and pens and just draw. And the other was, if I did have a tantrum, I would run up the stairs, I would slam my bedroom door, and I would press play on the Grease soundtrack. Hopelessly Devoted to You, because I wanted maximum emotion.
Yes.
And I would crank it up, Hopelessly Devoted to You, and I would sing it really, really loud. And she said, yeah, but he's using music to self-soothe. That's what that is.
Yeah.
So it was her idea to send me to a theatre school for kids, and I went there, and it was night and day. It was 180.
Wow.
I walked in there a terror, and I walked out a nice kid, and was a nice kid for my whole childhood. So I've always performed because I sort of fear if I stop, what will happen? What will I? Who will I become?
Who will I be? Yeah,
I've always sort of been like, I have to do these creative pursuits, or else I'll die. Because it's just the most wonderful, fulfilling thing in all aspects. I still draw, I still do art, I still do all that stuff. So yeah, from there I went to drama school. There was never any other option.
Yeah.
I briefly considered going into makeup effects, which I love and still do. I managed to do a little bit of. Went to drama school, graduated. Didn't get an agent, found Operation Mincemeat myself, and clung to it all the way to Broadway. Wow. And now of course I do have an agent, and things are going very well.
Yes, that's wonderful. What was the audition process like? Was it right after school as well?
So I was a big fan of them as writers.
Yeah.
I really knew their work. I was so invested. I saw these horror comedy plays that they did at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. And I said, oh my goodness, you have to let me play. You really have to let me join in. I promise you're a company of 5 and you've been best friends for years and you all work together, but you don't know it, but I promise I'll be right there. And then they were just doing what they were doing with this horror comedy company called Kill the Beast. Amazing shows. And then they announced, well, we're going to split off. So a few of us are splitting off and we're going to write a musical. Even better. I do musicals. I'm great in musicals. Now you definitely got to have me. So they announced these open auditions, and they knew me as a fan. And they're on record as going like, oh, let's let the fan audition. It'll be a nice day. He can meet us. It'll be a nice day for him. And I walked in, I did my audition, and I quote Natasha Hodgson. I walked out the room, Natasha said, well, he's clearly better than any of us. So I've been with the show ever since. I was sort of cast from that audition and have been along for the ride. Yeah.
That's beautiful. What a wonderful experience. No callbacks, just like offer straight up?
There was a callback, but it was a chemistry. It was seeing how, because they wanted 2 actors.
Yeah.
So it was seeing how everybody would fit together. It was really great.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Yeah. And they didn't know who was going to play who.
Really?
When we started, we just knew we had a company of 5. We were going to read the material. We were going to look at the material and see what worked, what suited. And on day 1 of rehearsals, I sang the big song that I do, Dear Bill.
Which is beautiful, by the way.
thank you.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah, we did that on day one, and that was a test. That was, can a man play this role and deliver this number and sit in vulnerability without it being funny? Because there's such a steeped tradition, especially in England, of if a man is playing a woman, then it's only for comedy.
Right.
So they were worried that was going to feed in no matter what I was doing. And I performed the song on day one, and our lighting designer cried. And we sort of realized, okay, I think we're onto something here. I think we can do it.
You bring so much raw authenticity to that song.
Oh, thank you.
It's beautiful. And it doesn't come off, like there's funny things within the song, but it doesn't come off as comedic. It comes off as such a truthful sentiment. It's very beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
Crazy that no one knew what roles they were doing. That's
and then because I was cast as Hester, it then meant they literally said, okay, well, if Jack's going to be Hester, then that means Natasha can be Monty, Zoe can be Bev, and Dave can be Chumley. And we had a wonderful actress named Rory Fury King who played Jean for that initial run. And it was done like that. It was like a sort of, I think they had a few versions, and it was all dictated by whether or not I could play Hester. And the secret is that I really wanted Hester.
Yeah.
Because I had looked at the story, and I knew that Hester, because she's like very administrative, she's an outlier in the main story. She's not going out for drinks with them. She's not going on all these adventures. She's back in the office doing all the work. And I thought, well, in that case, that'll mean that they won't need her in these scenes, in the scenes that have the American pilot or Spilsbury or all these other wonderful, big, cartoonish, grotesque characters. And all I ever want to do is have fun.
Yeah.
Anything I approach, I'm like, okay, how can I maximize the fun? So I knew that if I got to play Hester, I would probably get to play all of the peripheral characters as well, and I'd get sort of the most to do. And it would maximize my fun, and that's exactly how it worked out. Now I curse myself because I do it 8 times a week on a Broadway stage, and my knees are ruined, and my feet have fallen out with me. So I wish I didn't have to do. I wish I did just play lovely, still Hester, who just stands contemplative, and it's all very nice. Now I'm running around and gurning. That's my job.
Yes, gurning. When I was in school, I had a whole unit on gurning.
Oh yeah, gurning is so important.
Gurning is so important.
I gurn to warm up. I sort of do this vocal. Oh, I'm not going to do it.
Do it.
This sort of vocal. I combine the voice with whatever face is coming out, so it's and it warms up your voice and your face at the same time. Which for a show like Mincemeat, where it is so much, every character has a bigger face than the last.
Yep.
It's very important.
Yeah, it's a little 2-in-1. That's so cool. Which goes into your topic a little bit, being stupid, silly, letting it happen. How has that been when finding and starting with a character like Hester, or just in your journey as an actor?
So I work quickly. I always have. I make very quick decisions, and I tend to stick with them. I'm not stubborn. I'm very open to direction. I love directors. I absolutely love working with directors. But I make quick decisions and decide that they're right. And then if they do change, I don't notice them changing anyway. I make big swings. For example, a character like Hester, I knew very little about her. I knew that she was the head of the secretarial pool. I knew that in real life she was described as a dragon. I knew in real life that they called her the Spin, which is short for the spinster. And I thought, okay, here's what I know. That's what I know. What I guess is that she definitely heard that. She overheard someone say, "Oh, the Spin's on the way in." So she knows that's what they call her. And I thought, okay, so if you are a person who is known as a dragon, who has a horrible nickname that you've heard, who are you? Well, how does that inform you? So I come up with this very clenched, very tight, rigid posture. And I decide that she's one of those people. These are people who in real life, I love these people, who turn up to any given space, event, workplace, and they have this energy. I'm not going to have any fun. No way, Jose. I'm not going to make any friends. I am not going to laugh with you. I am here to do the work, and that's it. And what bullshit. Of course, everybody's here to have fun.
Right.
I love those people because if you can crack them, if you can find the right thing, you can tickle them in the right spot. They bloom, and they're always weird, and they're always fun. So I knew she was that. So I thought, okay, she's this rigid, stern. I'm not here to have any fun. And then, of course, we get this beautiful moment, which is the antithesis to that, which is where she reveals that she has so much depth of sorrow and has been in mourning for decades. So yeah, that's sort of an example of the type that those are quick decisions that I want to make, and it comes out organically. It's the closest I can come to elementary school level of play. Do you remember when you'd be on the playground and your friend would say, "Okay, let's play house," and you go, "Okay, great, I'll be the baby," and you get on the floor and you start speaking in this baby voice. You haven't thought about it. Your friend hasn't questioned you. Because you're playing, and it's cool. Let's go with it. I long ago came to the conclusion that acting has to be the same thing, otherwise it's you're wasting your time. You're wasting everybody's time. If it's so much, oh my God, well I have to write everything down. No, I don't do any of that. I don't write anything down. I rarely annotate a script because I'm not thinking about that. I'm being. It's so. I think you've got to make it as easy as possible. Otherwise, you can trip yourself up. Don't get me wrong. There are amazing actors who annotate and who write a Bible and have all these plans. But for me, I'm like, if I'm not playing, if I'm not doing the exact same thing I did on the playground, then I worry that I'm going to go down a whole different corridor. I'm going to write something down. I've committed to it and it's wrong.
Yeah.
It's been a journey. It took me a while to get there.
Well, because I'm sure in acting school, you're trained, or at least in my experience, you're trained to write a lot of things down and analyze the script and analyze the character and find different traits. And sometimes it's like once it's written down, that's what your brain sticks to. And then you overthink everything.
Absolutely.
And then the next year,
I hated it.
It's crazy.
I hated it all. We used to do these Meisner exercises. And before we do the Meisner exercise, we had to do this sheet where we'd write down. I'm trying to remember what it was. So I delete things if I don't like it. It was like, what's your intention walking into the room? What's the person who's already in the room's intention?
Yeah.
What do you want them to do? What's in your way and all that stuff? Which is interesting to think about. And listen, if I ever do have a scene where, particularly with camera stuff, where I'm like, oh, I don't quite know how to unlock this, I can ask myself those questions. Doesn't mean I have to write anything down, but I can ask them. But yeah, we used to do those. And then if you'd go in and you'd do the scene, the teacher would be like, well, question number 4, what do you do to get what you want? I didn't see you doing that. And it's like,
what do you
because
mean?
it's an improv. They were improv. They were always improvised. So I'd be like, well, she changed her tactic. I changed mine. It used to really, really frustrate me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, that's not what we're doing. Don't get me wrong. If there's a script and there's lines, then we've got to deliver them. But if it's in this instance, we're improvising. So I'm going to try something new because so did she. So it's I used to absolutely hate that.
Yeah. And you're like, what do you mean you didn't see it? And then you're in your head, you're like,
oh,
right,
yeah.
I did it. Then it's on you.
Yeah, that
and
too.
art is subjective.
That too. He'd be saying, oh yeah, you didn't play that tactic. And I'd be like, well, I thought I did.
Yeah.
So, and I felt it. Isn't that important? I got into a lot of arguments that way. Just being like, no, it's not what I thought I was doing. And it was very frustrating. I spent a lot of time in drama school thinking, maybe this isn't for me. If this is what this is, if it is admin and it is so much like process, I don't know whether I want to do it. I don't know whether it's as fun as I ever thought. And it took the actor Bill Nye. He came in. We used to have these master classes. Yeah. And it would be the principal of the school would sit like this opposite a big name actor. And he'd ask them questions. And the questions were always like fluffy, showbizy questions. Who's the rudest person you've ever worked with? And I'd be like, hello, you have Imelda Staunton sitting here. I want to know how she does what she does. And they'd be asking these fluffy questions. And Bill Nye came in. Firstly, he didn't want to sit in the chair. He wanted to walk around. And the teacher, he was like this,
what do I do?
trying to talk to him. It was great. He wanted to lean on the proscenium. So there was a big stage and he just wanted to lean on the proscenium and talk. he didn't want to answer any fluffy showbizy questions. He wasn't rude. He wasn't rude at all. He just would go, "Oh, I don't really know whether we should talk about that. What else? And he was the first person in my whole drama school experience. And I'm stood there. I think I was at the end of my second year, and I'd had the method thrown at me, and I'd had emotional memory classes and all this horrible stuff.
Yep.
And he was the one who said, "Oh, no, you mustn't do any of that." And he used the exact words, just pretend, just act it, you'll be fine. And I want to, it's the only thing I will ever get tattooed. Just act it, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And I took him at his word, and I said, "Yeah, do you know what? I love this actor. I've seen his work, and it's so small and raw and nuanced. And if you're telling me that man was just pretending, then thank God, because I can do that. I can do the same." And he really freed me. And I recently got the opportunity to sort of tell him through a mutual friend. I sent a friend of mine an email about him, and she forwarded it to him. So that was really nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you've been able to find so much success by just playing pretend and using that advice, which is wonderful. How is that, like, every day? How do you stay curious within it? How do you not get trapped within just kind of doing the motions and just like playing pretend and exploring that? Yeah.
Well, so I've been doing the show for 6 years, which and there really is an aspect of going through the motions because it's tried and tested, especially because it's a comedy. So we know how to get the laughs, and you want the laughs. Otherwise, what's this all been about? So there is an element of it where I'm like, well, I do this. I know that I do this because I know it gets the laughs. And it wasn't always that way, and now it sort of is. And it's fine because I still am I'm curious. I'm incredibly curious all the time. I'm nosy. I'm really I like gossip. I like going into rooms. You know, if somebody says, "Oh, hey, do you want to come for dinner? This thing, it might be boring." And I'm like, "Well, it might be boring, but I've never been there. I've never been to that place, and I want to see what it's like. I want to meet everybody. I want to know how everybody got to work and what they had for breakfast. Just so nosy. So that informs how I am able to sort of stay present because I'm looking at all my other actors and I'm going, what are you? Oh, you changed that today. Oh, wow. So this is a stupid example. Stupid example is all the girls get their hair done for them and they have these sort of slicked back in a bun because they're portraying men. So it's sort of the illusion that we do. And I have a horrible curl. And a couple of weeks ago, Zoe, who plays Colonel Bevan, she'd had her hair done. And that day, Matty, who does her hair, had done her hair a little bit tighter. It was just more slicked than it usually is. Normally she has a little bit more of a quiff. That was a bit down. It was really tight on the sides. And as Hester, I'm standing there and I looked and I thought, oh, Colonel Bevan's had a haircut. Which is ridiculous. Of course, it's because to me her hair was smaller. So in my curious, but I'm going, oh look, when did you get the haircut? And that's so silly. But it's things like that, little tiny observations that sort of keep me going. I have specific moments in the show that I do change up. I have one character, an admiral. We come on wearing these big picture frames with our faces burst through them, and we're these like old doddery admirals. And that admiral character has a different voice every night. I'm not here to say I've done 6 years of different voices.
Of course.
But I changed the voice. He doesn't do the same voice because no one notices except me and sometimes them. And it's always like, a decrepit old man voice that comes out. But sometimes it's high, sometimes it's low. Sometimes he's like on the brink of death. I forgot what I said. It's like sometimes he has nothing left to give. But he changes every night.
Do you decide like right in that moment?
Oh yeah, no, there's no plan. He just the voice that comes out is the voice that you get that day, and no one's ever pointed it out. No, I don't think anybody picks up on it because I think they just see doddery old man. There's a moment where Hester is pressing Montague for answers. What was the name of this man that you found? You found the body of a tramp. Who was he? And Monty's going, oh, don't worry about it. And she's like, well, you must know. And I enjoy, in that moment, playing, pushing and pulling with how rude Hester is being. Some days she's really rude. Some days her hand is on her hip and she's saying, no, who was he? Some days she's really innocently asking, oh, no, you must at least know his name. Who was he? which I have fun with because Natasha's reaction is anger always.
Yeah.
That's sort of what's written, is that she's like, I'll tell you who he was, and she comes over, and I enjoy how mean can I make Monty look? Is he giving me a natural reaction to me being rude, or is he actually being is his reaction now disproportionate because I've been nice? And again, that's only entertaining for me. I don't think they're watching that at all, but I am.
Yeah.
And then I have a moment like other examples. I have a moment with Claire where I'm pushing her. You need to help us, and I just sprinkle that with different energy. These are moments that I find that are safe, where I can go, yeah, I can flex, I can push and pull, I can see what will happen, and it never interferes with anybody else. There is a big difference between a playful actor, which I think I am, and a dangerous actor. Right. I'm not one of those. I've worked with dangerous actors where it's been like, well, here we go. Who the hell knows? Because I certainly don't how this is going to go, because this person does something different every time until they're told to stop, or even after they're told to stop, they'll carry on. And that'll, I'm trying to think back to like, I had a friend of mine, he knows, we used to call him, we used to say his name and then say dangerous actor afterwards, like it was like his like tagline. And he would do stuff like he would just be like, as he was talking, he'd pick up a prop and he'd be looking at it, talking, and then he'd just hand it to you, and you'd be like,
what do I do?
But I've got this fucking prop now. This is nothing to do with me. I don't know where this goes.
No.
Or he'd like stand you up, get you out of your chair. He'd sit in your chair for you, and it'd just be like, okay, I don't know what this scene's gonna be.
What do I do with this?
I don't do that. I'm very playful, but within the confines. I'm very respectful, and I'm very also, as much as I have no process, I'm very respectful of other people's processes, and I don't want to do anything to interfere with that. So yeah, that was a very long answer, but the short answer is just finding the moments of push and pull that are safe, that aren't going to get you or anyone else in trouble, and taking every opportunity, and just being a little bit silly sometimes. A little
silly,
especially if you're on stage with your best friend, like Claire Marie Hall is one of my best friends.
Sweet.
It's impossible not to.
Do you ever make each other break on stage all the time?
Constantly. Because again, having done the show for 6 years, I'm dying to laugh.
Yep.
I've done this so many times. The pressure's kind of off. We're going to do it again tomorrow. If something goes wrong, I'm like, thank God. Something new.
Please.
Something to laugh at. But yeah, Claire is my main victim.
Oh, my main victim.
Because she takes it and she'll give it back, and she's quick. She'll, if you do something, she goes with it really quickly. There's a moment in the show where I have to pass a mask. We've got these like Venetian masks with big feathers on them. And the other day, as I passed it to her, I just went with the feathers in her face, and she was like, and we're doing like a big ballroom dance, and she completely lost her place and had to get herself together. But then when we met up backstage, she went, I love that. That was great. And I thought,
you get me.
Yeah, we've got to be having fun. Otherwise, what's this all been about? Come on.
It's true. And that all actually ties into another question I want to ask you. How is it having your own like method, being playful and curious with an actor who might not be as playful or curious and more like to the script? How is that relationship?
I find, as I say, I'm very respectful. You do what you have to do. I'd be lying if I said that there weren't times where I have been opposite someone in a scene and I felt, well, I'm being very present. There are things that I love to point out, like one being your body doesn't know the difference. So if somebody is screaming at me, my body doesn't know that this is a scene. Chemically, I'm having reactions. I'm stiffening up. I'm tense. My mouth has gone dry. I got a lump in my throat because I might cry. Don't like being screamed at. And that's enough for me. That's enough to I can ride that wave, and I can create this whole moment with you. I've been opposite other actors, and they may as well be like that, reading the teleprompter, or they've got their dead grandma back there, and they're looking at her, and I think, well, God, but I'm here and I'm screaming at you. So all you got to do is be done to, and it'll be much easier. I don't say that. That's not my business. But I have been in moments where I've been like, oh, this is frustrating. Yeah. You're barely even looking at me. You're either reading the teleprompter or you're harkening back to when your goldfish died.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm crying because we're breaking up. So yeah, I do sometimes feel a little bit frustrated.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's about working together. It's about finding the best version. And as I say, I'm not dangerous. I'm not going to change it. I'm not going to do anything to trip them up.
Yeah.
As I say, I just think if we're not playing, then I don't know what we're doing. We're sort of we may as well be like Disney animatronics.
Yeah.
Like thinking about their code and their programming, doing Let It Go, big swishy arms.
Exactly. Have you ever seen a show where you could kind of tell, like, an actor who is just like letting it happen versus someone who might just be going through the motions, even if they're just newer to it, and nothing against that actor. I want to make that clear. But
I mean, I must have done. It's nothing that really sticks in my mind. But I can't. It's not so much the verses. Have I seen this versus that? But the performances that I think are particularly memorable are the ones that I think feel lived in and playful. And during drama school, I had this obsession with a phrase that I coined, the relaxed actor. And I'd see people, Imelda Staunton being another example. Imelda Staunton played Mama Rose in Gypsy in London, and I saw her do it. And Mama Rose is she's this ball of energy, she's this fire. But Imelda was just she had that, but she was so relaxed. She didn't put a foot wrong, even though I didn't know what she was meant to do. There was nothing that felt inauthentic. There was nothing that felt contrived because of the scene change or the direction. It all just felt so lived in and relaxed, and I could never quite get there. I've now learned, I actually think that the key to that is time. I was in drama school doing, we'd rehearse for a month, and then we'd do a show for 6 nights, and it'd be done. And I think when it's 6 nights, you've got to try your best for the whole thing. I actually think by the time I saw Imelda do Gypsy, she'd been doing it for like 2 months, so she's relaxed. She knows it. It's fine. But yeah, those roles that are inhabited and playful, roles that maybe it feels like there is an unpredictability to them, but I know that there isn't.
Do you have any advice for either younger actors or just actors trying to just figure their things out and what way they want to go, in terms of just like letting loose and playing pretend and being curious?
Yeah. Don't worry, and I mean that in the broadest sense and the most minute sense. Don't worry about, is this the right voice? Could you change the voice tomorrow? We're going to do it again. I say this every day when we do the show. Something goes wrong, I go, oh, we're going to do it again tomorrow. It's fine. They don't know. They're not watching for the scene, whether the scene changed correctly. We're going to do it again. It's all right. Yeah, don't worry. Don't get bogged down. Don't get mired down in the muck. That some people will tell you that this is important. If it's not important to you, it's not important. I'm living proof that you can reject some of the teaching. A lot of it I took. I cherry picked. You're very free to cherry pick what you find useful. Be nice to everybody. Be kind. I think part of my curiosity and my very curious nature is I'm always eager to make a friend. I'm not going to miss out on an opportunity to make a new friend. I hear about these actors who they're given a dresser who's going to work with them, and they don't talk to their dresser, or they treat their dresser like a dog. Oh. And I think, well, that's a shame. You're missing out on an opportunity to make a new friend. Yeah. My dresser here on Broadway, his name's Jim, and he's wonderful, and he's very, very serious and committed to the work, and he takes it very, very seriously, which I think is hilarious because I don't. So with the juxtaposition of us, I'm always playing with him, winding him up. There's a bit where he has to put these cufflinks on these sort of cuffs on my hand, and sometimes I make my hand big. I sort of widen out my hand so it won't go in, and he's going, and he's trying to be quick change, being quick, and I'm just laughing. So that, and we get on famously. He's a really wonderful man, and I absolutely cherish him, and he looks after me. I look after him, and I think, why the hell would you come in and not nurture that? Mm-hmm. You will never ever catch me if a quick change goes wrong, if a prop is not in the right place. I won't even mention it.
Yeah.
because I know you know, and I know you're going to change. You're going to do it again tomorrow, and it's fine. There's no point. It's not what we're here for. And my big piece of advice. Another one before that.
Please.
Get your hands up above your head. I say this anytime I work with young people. When you're going out and you're doing a scene, do anything you can. You know, if the character's like, well, I don't know, the store wasn't open, so I'm not sure. You know, that might be ridiculous, but once you've done it, once you've got your hand above your head, all bets are off. You're free. You can do what you want. You can put your hands anywhere. Don't worry about them. You can sort of lose sight of them and not have to think about that because you've done the big, stupid, scary thing. So the day somebody told me that, I was like, oh my God, yes, great. So any scene I'm in now, I usually try and go, don't know, just throw that in. And then even if I don't do it again the next time, I've done it and I now know what that means. And then the last one is find something you love just as much as performing, and try and dedicate some time and energy and even money into nurturing that as well. I wouldn't be here without my art that I do separately, privately. It's my thing. I have 100% ownership of it. In this business, you don't have any control. You can be at the absolute top of your game, but you're still waiting for somebody to offer you that job, write that script for you, make this happen for you. You could have a project that is a dream project that you're standing there saying, I'm absolutely right for. And they go, yeah, but so-and-so has more Instagram followers than you, so it's going to go to them.
Which drives me nuts.
Oh, it drives me insane. But the way to mitigate that being constantly driven insane by this industry that you love is to go, hey, do you know what? At least that's just happened to me. Fine. I'm going to go home and I'm going to collect my stickers because I collect stickers, and that's what I do. And it's mine, and I have total ownership. With my art, if something, whether something's gone right or wrong, I can go home and I can go, this is what I want to make, and I'm going to make it. And who's going to stop me? Nobody, because this is my thing. I have an entire room in my house that's dedicated, and I shut the door, and there we go. This is and it's saved me, and I'd recommend. And you can't force it. You can't go, okay, well, Jak Malone says he does art, so I'll do art. I'm not very good and I don't like it, but I'll do it. Yeah. You've got to take your time, let it find you. It could be knitting, it could be collecting leaves, but it's all yours, and you're gonna want to harken back to it when things are tough. Yeah. I being here in New York, I don't have my art studio. I don't have the space, and there are so many days where I'm like, oh, do you know what would solve this feeling? Just a little 2 hours in there, but I can't.
No,
I know.
You gotta make a little corner.
I know.
It's
honestly, it's impossible because I spread. And I buy, and I go. I'll come up with a new idea for a project, and it'll mean, okay, well, I need to buy 30 things and a big pressure chamber and an airbrush, air compressor for the airbrush. It's ridiculous. It takes up all of my space. But
in our final moments of this interview, time flew. I don't know where it went. Do you have any final thoughts? Anything that we haven't touched on yet that you'd like to talk about, or promotions, things, anything?
Yeah. Like I do want to reiterate that it's so important to take what you are being taught. Don't just listen to me. Don't just go, oh well, his way sounds easier. His way sounds right. Be receptive to anything. Again, part of me being nosy, part of me being curious. I'm receptive to anything. Listen, I'm going to meet you where you live. I'm for that reason, I feel like I'm a really great audience member. Even if somebody has said, "Oh, this show is the worst show you've ever seen," I'm like, "Hey, not for me, not right now. It's the show I'm seeing. I'm excited." So be receptive and then cherry pick. There is no definitive book of acting. There's no rule book. There's no playbook. You just gotta be receptive and be playful with your attitude. And I just find that so important, and I sort of spread that message wherever I go. In terms of what I want to plug, I'm a writer, and not a lot of people know that. And I'm writing a musical at the moment. So if anyone listening is someone who is involved in the producing of musicals and wants to talk to me about that, please do. I can't say what it is because it's all a little bit wrapped up. But yeah, I'm working on a musical. I'm writing lots. I'm never not writing. I think writing has replaced art because it's what I can do. Yeah. It's all confined to one iPad, so that's nice. Yeah. So yes, by all means, come up to me and talk to me about acting. But if you want to find out more about my writing, I'm very keen to talk about that and pursue that now. Now that Mincemeat's sort of, now that I feel like I've kind of completed the Mincemeat journey, I'm like, okay, now what can I write? It's very exciting to me.
That's wonderful. I can't wait to see it
Oh,
once
thank
it
you.
gets all produced and
Yeah,
all the things.
me too.
Your perspectives are just wonderful. I want you to
you.
know that. And like you said, you enter a room and it's just, you have a beautiful energy and you're so
you.
respectful and kind. And that is just so beautiful.
Thank you so much. That's so sweet. I
Of
appreciate
course.
that.
And thank you.
Thank you.
This kind of concludes the thing.
Great. Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on, Jak. You were wonderful.
Thank you.
That was wonderful. Thanks, Jason, too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.